Okay, in this video, we're going to be going through how we scaled a online education business from 4 million to 20 million a year, and all the steps that are involved in that. And this is not the only time. If I just kind of show you some of the other results on there as well, so you can see actually that ended up in 12 million in gross profit. Then took another business 210k to 1.25 million in under 7 months. Another business from 9 million to 20 million. Another business from 1.6 to just over 2 million a month. And then this one from 900,000 to 2.2 million. Actually, this month we've just done 2.7 million so far. So, like massive growth, right? Just in the case of like 6 or 12 months. And it comes down to this process that I'm going to share with you in today's video to scale from that 4 million to 20 million and beyond. And it comes down to what is inside this framework here. Okay. And then some of this other stuff as well that we're going to go through together. So, firstly, like, how does this happen, right? How do, number one, how do businesses get stuck at that rate? And then number two is, how do they go and fix it? Well, it comes down to 3 core problems, right? So we're going to zoom right in. So number one, not making enough per sale. So if it takes too long to break even, that causes cash flow problems. They can't provide an amazing product because they've got cash flow product problems, and that means they just really can't scale, right? So you need to make sure, well, we're going to go through the solutions in just a sec. And then secondly, not enough repeat buyers, right? So can't spend as much as the competitors to acquire a customer. It stops growth, reduces profitability. So if customers are only buying once from you, that is a problem, right? Or even if they're only buying twice, because if you're not getting enough repeat buyers, then you're not monetizing that part of the list. So not enough leads turning into buyers. So relying on existing customer list too much and becoming less effective, cost too much to acquire a customer, and then don't know what to fix and feel like you're banging a head against the wall. So if you haven't got enough of those leads that are coming in actually becoming buyers, so we've got clients that like run like 10%, 11% of all their leads then become buyers. You'll see when we started working, it was like 2-3%. So it's about monetizing those as they come through. And then bonus problem, you don't know what to fix first, right? So do I fix the leads problem? Do I fix the repeat buy problem? Do I fix the not making enough per sale? So we're going to go through all that and like how we build those structures in. So 3 core fixes to solve each one of these. So customers spend more on each sale, get customers to buy more often, and then get converting more leads. Sounds simple. The reality can be harder, but I'm going to show you some simpler ways to make each of these fixes easier moving forward. So let's look at the 3 stages. So we've got spend more often, and convert more. So spend more, average order value. So how do you increase your average order value? So we've got pricing. So you can change the pricing of your front end offer. Sometimes making the price lower will increase the amount of people coming through, but it's also going to lower the average order value. So you can lower pricing and quite often it'll increase conversion rate, or you can increase pricing and it'll increase average order value. So that's something from a pricing standpoint. Then you can also look at your back-end products, right? So the pricing of the back end. Maybe sometimes I've seen clients like double their pricing, and by doing that, or just like re-engineering the pricing. So there's a lot of hype around like, oh, you want a recurring membership, but like the reality of it isn't as smart as it looks, right? Because like you go, okay, well, look, you can get in here for $200 a month. That's great, but what if they stick for 6 months? So they stick for 6 months, that's a 1,200 that person's worth. Now, instead, if you said, hey, it's $3,000 one time, you're actually making like more than double the amount of money, and you're getting all that cash up front. So recurring memberships also can cause a cash flow gap sometimes if they're not done in the right way. The adding in upsells, adding in downsells, cross sells, right? All these things to increase that average order value. So what else can you sell them in the journey that actually is beneficial for them? Lifetime customer value, so flash sales. So increasing the lifetime customer value, the higher that goes, the easier it is going to be to acquire new customers. Because if you know your competitor down the road can spend $100 to acquire a customer and you can spend $1,000, you're going to win, right? So this average order value and lifetime customer value go hand in hand with each other. You can do things like flash sales, increasing the layers on your value ladder. So making sure you've got more front end products, making sure you've got more mid ticket products that can just like generate extra income from the list. Then retargeting and recurring stuff as well, right? All those things. Just retargeting on every stage of the buyer journey. I've recorded another video going through retargeting strategies and stuff. So feel free to watch that on my YouTube channel. But basically, there's like we do like 55 layers of retargeting, and then you also got all the different kind of places that you can retarget as well, right? So you got paid media, you've got organic, you've got one-on-one, you've got one-to-many. Then recurring, adding in levels of recurring membership, but you might add that in after you've already acquired the customer, right? Rather than adding it on the front end, because sometimes it costs more to get someone in a recurring than it does to just do a one-time purchase. Because you're not just doing the sale right now, you're also having to do that sale in the future as well. And then conversion rate, A/B testing, again, adding in layers of retargeting and making sure you've got that messaging dialed in with the avatar, like who is your dream customer, what is the words and language patterns that you're using, and testing that like crazy. And then from that, you do data analysis, bring it back around, and then we're doing more testing, more testing, more testing, more testing, and more testing, right? So kind of see it like this clear framework, right? So conversion optimization, making sure that you've got laser targeting dialed in. That doesn't mean like I target dog owners on Facebook, right? That means laser targeting in terms of your messaging is dialed in. Creating effective offers, adding AOV boosting things into there, and then maximizing the retention of those people who come into your world. How many times are they buying? How often are they buying? How much are they spending with you? Okay. So once we've got all those pieces in place, then we want to be looking at like where are the bottlenecks, because that's typically what stops the conversion rates. And think about it. So you got input, output, and throughput. So your input will be like all the things like that you are using to like drive those sales to move forward, right? So what are all the inputs that are going in? And then the output you want is the actual sales. So input might be like all your ads, right? Sales team calling people up, all those kind of things. So that's the effort and stuff that we're putting in. But then we're not getting the output, because so that's blocking the throughput. So where's the bottleneck? So there's going to be multiple bottlenecks in the buyer journey, right? So it could be your cost per click is far too high, and it's costing you too much to get people to even view your offer. It could be that your landing page conversion rate, your cost per lead is too high, your cost to acquire a customer is too high. It could be a lifetime value is too low. So what you want to do is look at what are every single bottleneck and literally just write a list out of every single bottleneck that there is in the business. And once you've wrote that out, then you want to order and by priority, right? Of like what is going to having the biggest impact. So kind of see it like this kind of pipeline thing going on as well. So the jewels go in, they come out, but you're losing some along the way, right? There's gaps in the pipe where things are just like disappearing. So even though this guy's putting more in, like this person's taking some out, this person's trying to cycle with that, but like we're losing a lot along the way. So what we want to do is tighten up that pipe and make sure through the whole thing that there is no gaps, no holes in that process. So how do we do that? So let's go over to here. So this is the whole map of the Amplify Your Profit system and process, like everything that we do put together. So remember, we want them to spend more often, and convert more. And that does what? Maximizes profit. And when we talk about profit, we don't mean just gross profit, we mean bottom line profit, like the cash that you can actually take home at the end of the day, at the end of the year. So the first layer of that is the avatar, customer journey, and data pieces. Okay, so each one of those is like building the foundation. So the avatar piece is very much about kind of like knowing the language patterns of your customer and understanding exactly like how they describe their pains, their goals, their desires, etc. Then the second piece is mapping out the customer journey. So looking at everything in your customer journey right now. So like what is every email, SMS, landing page template, landing pages in the funnel, right? So what is every touch point that someone has along the buyer journey in order for them to go ahead and buy? So mapping that out, and then the data piece. So making sure you've got data in dashboards, heat mapping, looking at your sales velocity. So sales velocity is like how much is someone worth on day 1, day 30, day 60 in your world. And then the visitor recordings as well. So like looking through those visitor recordings, seeing what's working, what isn't. Then analysis wise, we then analyze all that stuff, and then that helps us decide what we want to split test. And then, so where do we split test? Well, we split test on page, in emails, in ads, split testing the offers, the pricing, the user experience. And user experience, by the way, also kind of comes down to consumption as well. So, like, how do we actually get the person to consume the product? Because if they consume the product, they're likely to go and buy another product from you, right? And then also budget allocations. So, those budget allocations, like just shifting the budget around to different offers, seeing what's working, what isn't. And that helps us decide what the most profitable path in the business is. So you'll notice there's a combination here. So we've got, once we mapped out the customer journey, we're also doing a competitor analysis and then seeing what all the competitors are doing as well. So a combination of seeing what they're doing, seeing what our own funnels and sales processes are doing, seeing what all the split tests are doing. And by doing all this testing, then we get to see what is the most profitable path in the business. And this is really like, this is why it's in yellow, because it's the golden path. That's what you're looking for, right? Then when it comes down to the avatar part, the avatar is going to then dictate what offers do you create and all the other pieces of the journey. So once you decide the who, then you can decide the how. So you need to decide who you're going to serve before you decide how you're going to serve them. So that comes down to offer creation, right? And that comes from, again, from the most profitable path. So you might be like, okay, this path, when we get them to consume this piece of content or this offer that works really, really well, how do we create other offers that drive more people to that offer, right? So let's say you've got a mid-ticket offer. It's maybe like $300 or $500. And you know, like you've got 20% of those people end up going and spending $10,000 with you after. You're like, okay, great. How do we get more people into that? Well, it might actually cost you quite a lot to get someone to buy that $300 product. However, what if you could create a front end product that then leads into that $300 product, right? And you create the front end product for like $10, and it's a $10 offer, but you get more customers in because a buyer is a buyer is a buyer, right? So offer creation. What links into offer creation is creating the right upsells to go with that stuff, the right copywriting, the right retargeting, and the right value ladder as well. So building all the stages of the buyer journey. So everything from like free lead magnets all the way up to ultra high tickets, like 100 grand plus offers on the back end as well. So then looking at the upsell piece, if we just break that one down, so we've got different types of upsells. We've got alternative upsells, consumption exit pops, price anchoring. So there's quite a lot of things that we do on the upsell side of things. The price anchoring side of things is like having a pay in full and a split pay version on the page. And by doing that, it really helps you like increase your take rates, but also get those people who wouldn't have bought before. And it can allow you to actually get more people to pay in full. So I've recorded a separate training just literally on upsells. You can watch that in more detail on the channel. And then alternative upsells. So that is kind of where you can really guide people through with different kind of options. So rather than saying upsell, downsell, we put the downsell option on the same page. So we actually reduce the amount of decisions that someone has to make in the upsell path. And then there's things like consumption exit pops, which basically make sure people consume more of the sales funnel. Then we got retargeting, right? So retargeting over phone, ads, email, SMS, so all these different layers of retargeting, and they lead into your value ladder. So when we talk about the value ladder, we've got lead magnets, self-liquidating offers, core program, high ticket, ultra high ticket, affiliate offers, recurring offers. So this one, affiliate offers is quite a smart one as well, because it can help you monetize your lead generation on the front. So this is something that we're building a lot more into our own business as well at the moment. Is there's a lot more, hey, here's the tools that we recommend, like sign up to any of these. So off the back of doing that, that can help start to liquidate the ad cost. And like, we recommend you sign up to these newsletters when you sign up for our newsletter, and then we can get referral commission for those things. You can use something called Spark Loop for that, which is pretty cool. Shout out to the 1000x leads guys, because they referred me to that particular thing, which is super awesome. And so then when we've done all that, then we want to look at how, from that profitable path, how we creating as much leverage as possible. How are we creating the leverage from the whole value ladder? So leverage comes into 4 buckets. So we've got labor, media, capital, and code. So from those, so labor, you've got things like strategic partners, structures, and systems. So how do you create structures and systems that make it so you can have a lower skilled labor on the team to achieve the same outcome? So you pay higher rates for people to think, and you pay lower rates for people to do once the thing has been systematized. So the more you can use a lower skilled labor at a lower rate, that's going to create an increase in your overall margins as well in the business. Then strategic partners, right? So what is your zone of genius, and stick in that zone of genius. Don't try and do the things that you don't do. So like, it's like, oh, we have the best steak in town. It's like, great. And then next week they're like, yeah, we're the best vegetarian restaurant in town. Like, those two things don't match, right? So you want to look at, like, what are you great at, and then outsource the rest. So we have strategic partners for media buying, for sales teams, for operations. So like, we do conversion rate optimization end to end through the whole customer journey, and that's what we do. We don't do all the other stuff around it, right? We're not, like, if they need another tech person on the team, we're not going to be that tech person. That's not what we do. However, we know a lot about tech. Can we advise on it? Yeah. However, we're not going to go into the weeds and like be setting up all those automations for that stuff, because that's not where we're at, right? So then media, affiliates, PR, organic, and paid. So you've all got, like, you could be getting in the press, getting other affiliates to promote you, like list swapping and stuff like that, or organic and paid. So like, organic could be SEO, it could be social media, and then you've got paid. And paid isn't just like, social media ads. That also can be direct mail, radio, TV, like all those kind of things. And then you got capital. So you got, like, how can you create financing options? So like, for example, if you're scaling up and you're running out of cash in the short term, but you know that cash is going to come back, you could take money on credit cards to go and scale faster. And also, if you use Amex as well, I think you get quite a lot of points back and a lot of incentives, potential cash back and stuff. I'm not an expert on that side of things. However, I know a lot of our clients have like stacked those cards before, when they've, like, let's say we've done a live event and we knew last time, we put $1 in and we get 4 or 5 back. And this time we need to front load a lot of that cash. But, we just need the capital reserves for it. So you finance that on the credit cards, pay it off at the end of the month, and get a load of cash back, and then get free flights for a year or whatever. So that's great. And then we've also got lifetime value enhancing. So that's anything like from a capital perspective. So like, how do we get them into other offers, right? So lead magnet, self-liquidating, the core program, like, and just how do we drive those people up further? And then also from the financing side, add in the financing. So instead of you like footing the bills for payment plans, you actually use financing tools or software or companies in order for you to get paid in full, and you're not at risk then of that. So that actually generally helps the value of a business, because you've got less risk against the business. So if you're ever looking to sell it, and then it also increases cash flow and cash conversion cycles as well. And then we've got code. So code, one of the biggest things at the moment is AI is massive, and then also software. So anything in that respect of like, what can speed up workflows, what can reduce the amount of labor or capital required, what can help us get more bang for a buck out of the media to create more leverage, because that's really what we're thinking about here, right? Is how do we create as much leverage as possible? And that comes down to all of these things. So for example, with the AI piece, you might look at ways we can use that in the split testing piece, right? The software pieces like that might help you find, like the heat map in the visitor recording. Like, how do we create more leverage there so we can get better answers quicker and faster? So all those things together is what gets people to spend more often, and convert more. And then you solve these three problems. Once you solve these three problems, it allows you to go from this stage. So if you're at the maturity stage, like in your business right now, maybe you're at the like 7-figure level and you've been doing like 5, 6 million, 7 million a year, and you want to go to beyond 8. Like, sustaining is hard to stay at that rate, because cost to acquire like goes up over time as you go to a wider audience. And if you're not changing, if you're not innovating, then what happens is you just go into decline, right? So you need to be able to innovate and go up. And the way to do that is like going through this whole process that we talked about there. And then, we don't stay in this central piece for long. So if you imagine like this is growth, this is declining, and like if you're there in the middle, then it just, the balance is going to change very, very quickly. So what you want to do, what I would suggest based off like just what we've done with scaling multiple businesses to 8 figures, is like look at this whole process and look at like what you're doing, what you're not doing. Like, are you tracking the data? Are you doing split testing? Do you have your customer journey mapped out? Do you have your avatar? Have they got a name, a face? Where they're from? Like, you could literally, if they walked into the room, you'd say, yes, that's them. Right. And then have you created all these stages of your value ladder? Have you created all these leverage pieces, etc.? So if you want help and support on doing this, and you're already at a high 7-figure level, or you're at 8-figure level and you want to go to 9, you've got ambitions to go to 9. So just like reach out. There'll probably be a link around this video, or just drop me a message, and I'm happy to jump on a call. And if you're a little bit earlier stage, that's cool as well. We've got some free tools, resources, and very low cost things as well to help and support with that stuff. So let me know if it can be any more support. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, any questions, feedback, and have a fantastic one. I'll catch up with you soon.